fun. Yeah, it's a playful bike for sure.
Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Yami Noob. Today we're putting the newly flashed ECU on the Z900RS. It was brought to us by the boys over at Brock's. Thanks so much. They hooked us up with the new flashed ECU that we're going to be reinstalling back on this bike, taking it out for a spin and seeing if this bike can finally live up to the Z900 hype that I've been hearing so much about online. Now today is actually the last day to get entered to win this Z900RS. Go to shop.yaminoob.co, use the code CLASSIC at checkout, and you'll get yourself max entries to win this motorcycle. You're not going to want to miss it. This thing's an awesome UJM, classically styled motorcycle that I think anybody could be proud to have. But let's slip this ECU back into the bike. Let's go take it for a spin and let's see the results. All right, guys, so if you've never flashed an ECU before, the process is pretty simple. I'm actually unboxing this right now. It's the ECU that we just got back from Brock's. So this is the actual brains of the motorcycle, rather. And it's just this little box right here. This is usually found underneath your seat or somewhere near your gas tank. Typically in most motorcycles it's kind of further back here to get away from engine heat and those sort of things. And then it's pretty simple. I mean, you literally just pop it off, you send it over to the guys, they flash and they bring it back to you. So Brock's actually provides you a list of all the stuff that happens on this motorcycle when you get it flashed. So they say that you're gonna get increased horsepower and torque throughout the entire RPM range. You're gonna de-restrict the secondary throttle blade settings to allow for 100% throttle operation without sacrificing the smooth operation. Higher RPM limit, which is typically for ECU flashes. You're gonna get a fuel table mapping for maximum pump gas. It removes the top speed limiter because you know you're gonna be doing 186 miles per hour on your Kawasaki. Reduce the fan temperature. It removes the pair code /light if you've done that delete on your motorcycle. It removes the O2 sensor light code if you've deleted the O2 sensor on there. The deceleration fuel cut is disabled, and there's tons of more other stuff too that this thing does. So if you're looking to get the best of the best out of your motorcycle, I highly recommend doing an ECU flash. It's the simplest solution. It's a great way to get your motorcycle feeling the best it can possibly feel. And then yeah, we now have to reinstall it, follow a couple procedures as outlined by Brock's over here, and we're gonna go take it for a spin. All right guys, so Brock's wants us to cycle the key to the on position for 15 seconds and then back to the off position and repeat this procedure a total of 3 times, waiting at least 30 seconds between each cycle. So we're gonna click it into on. So that's it, we just cycled through the entire ECU setup for this machine. Now we're gonna go see if it turns on and go take it for a spin.
All right guys, taking the Z900 out for a quick rip, see if that flash made a difference, see if we're running a little smoother, feeling a little better on this motorcycle. Whoa, that guy's going like 80 miles per hour. That's a bit crazy. It definitely feels more linear from the bottom. It doesn't feel like it has to build up power any bit. It feels like it has a little bit more punch down low. It's always a healthy engine, 948 cc's or so of power. That's pretty good. Lots of pops and crackles from this system, which is great too. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to ride. I do need a little bit of gas though. I might stop by a gas station and fill up before we keep romping around on the Z here. But so far so good. On-off throttle is definitely improved. Kawasaki's have a really weird snatchy on-off throttle. I've noticed that on pretty much every Kawi I've ridden. Z650s, not the 400s as much. The ZX6 had it for sure. The ZX10 that I rode in Jerez had it as well. Yeah, they're just plagued with some of those issues. But it seems like the flash really fixes it. We flashed the ZX6 earlier this year as well that we gave away, and that definitely made the on-off throttle much tamer, much nicer. Good experience though on this thing. I like it so far. So this is the typical thing you would do with your Z900RS. You kind of bump around town a little bit, hook it up into fourth, try to get yourself some good gas mileage, cruising at about 45 miles an hour. and it feels really solid. It definitely feels better than before, because we obviously put the full exhaust system on and we didn't get any fuel management done to it. So now, having had the ECU flashed and the full exhaust put on there, this thing feels worlds different than when we first got it, when it was bone stock. It feels great, like really solid, really good power, really responsive throttle, really nice to ride. Yes, it is a little bit louder than I would like personally. For my own motorcycles, I probably wouldn't run a system that was this loud, but it's still a good sound. It's a nice sound. So many pops and crackles. Yeah, it's so cool because it's like, you know, this little retro bike thing, but you can really mob on this bike. It's a ton of fun. Yeah, fun bike to ride. I'm really excited to, I wouldn't say I'm excited to give it away, but I'm excited for someone to experience this thing, because it is great. Really solid motorcycle that you can enjoy for easily 3 to 4 years. You can keep it in the stable. Really solid, handsome looking machine, and right now it just sounds the business. There might be a little too many pops and crackles, to be honest. Might need to delete the pair valve. I don't know if the Z900 platform has a pair valve like the ZX6 does, but that's definitely one of the reasons why you get all those crazy pops and crackles from it. Yeah, it must be something with the pair valve or something else in it, because I mean the bike is flashed and with the full system, so I don't think it should be doing that many pops and crackles down low. I don't think it's really much of an issue. Sure, you could go get a dyno tune and get it super cleaned up, etc., but don't really think it's necessary, especially for a street application like this. If you were building like a race bike, sure, but yeah, this one, not really necessary. Curious once we get it on the highway to see if we were able to get that rev limit increased. It's apparently one of the things that the ECU flash can do. We'll see how high we can rev it out now. Probably close to 10 and a half, I would say, so maybe when it cuts. Big 948cc inline 4 like this, you know, detuned the way it is, you're not going to be revving to 14 or 15,000 RPM like you would on a traditional leader bike. this is definitely a street mill for sure. Longer stroke, that sort of thing. All right, guys, jumping on the highway with the Z900RS, trying to stretch its legs a little bit, see if we can get to that red line. See if it was increased at all, see how it feels in the upper registers, because I've been kind of just mobbing around the side streets. You can't really get a sense for how the motor feels above 6,000 or 7,000 RPM when you're, you know, going 40 miles per hour. Really strong, that's for sure. Lots of torque. Yeah, feels nice up in the upper registers. See if we can drop a gear up here and get it all the way up to red line, shall we? Past this guy, see if we get fourth and red line. Yeah, that's definitely higher. I got almost to 10 and a half. That was great. It didn't cut out. This bike, I've noticed when I rode it in the past, it would cut right at 10, so we definitely got a little bit extra breathing room up at the top, which is awesome. See how it feels in 6th gear cruising along with this flash, 75-ish miles per hour. Yeah, really nice linear power band, progressive throttle. You get to roll onto it, roll off. It's nice and easy. Yeah, you can't go wrong with the bike like this. I mean, it's great. Yeah, it's not the most premium, super cool experience, and it's such a known quantity. It's not going to surprise you. If you're pretty familiar with motorcycling, a bike like this, you're going to be like, oh, okay, you know, I know exactly what I'm going to get. But I gotta say, in the time of owning this thing, doing the full exhaust system and the ECU flash and kind of cleaning this thing up a little bit the way we have, definitely changed my perception of it and my experience of it. Really fun engine to ride around on the street, because it makes about 115 horsepower, I think. Right now with the flash and the ECU, it's probably making about 115. I'd guess like 110 wheel, something like that. Really broad spread of torque, 70-something foot-pounds, so you just get a nice even spread of power. That's so nice, not peaky in the slightest. playful bike for sure. You gotta keep that KTRC off though. I remember I tried wheeling it with it on, I think it was level 1 or 2. Just does a bunch of fuel cut and it's like brrr. It's actually really cool because you get to float the front wheel a teensy bit and it just does this crazy wheelie control thing. But yeah, second gear, float it, no problem, super fun. Yeah, super great bike. The Flash definitely cleaned it up a bunch. And if you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Remember, this is the last day to get entered to win this motorcycle. Use the code CLASSIC at shop.yaminoob.co to get yourself max entries for the month. And yeah, it's gonna wrap up today. The sweepstakes ends today. We'll select a winner in the coming weeks, and then we're actually gonna fly the winner of this motorcycle out here to Austin and get you to ride the bike, check out the bike. I think that'd be a ton of fun. With all that being said, guys, thanks so much for watching the video. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later.
Keep watching Yami Noob!